Hello history buffs and welcome back to the channel. Today we're travelling back in time to the 1st of November 1456 when Edmund Tudor, 1st Earl of Richmond, passed away from the plague at Carmarthen Castle. Edmund was not only the half-brother of King Henry VI, but also, and arguably more importantly, he was the father of the future King Henry VII, the founder of the Tudor dynasty. So let's dive into the fascinating story behind this important historical event. Edmund was born in 1430, the son of Owen Tudor, a Welsh squire at the court of King Henry V, and Catherine of Valois, the widow of King Henry V and mother of Henry VI. Through his mother, Edmund had royal blood, as Catherine was the daughter of King Charles VI of France. His Welsh roots from his father and his royal connection through his mother placed Edmund in a unique position within the political landscape of the time. The Tudors were not yet the ruling family of England, but through Edmund's son, that would all change. In 1436, Edmund and his younger brother Jasper were cared for by Catherine de la Pole when their mother, Dowager Queen Catherine, retired to Bermondsey Abbey, where she lived until she died in 1437. The Tudor brothers stayed with Catherine de la Pole until 1442, at which point their half-brother, King Henry VI, took over their wardship and oversaw their education. Edmund remained at court, and it appears that he and the king had somewhat of a good relationship, as King Henry knighted Edmund in 1449, and in 1452 or 53 the king bestowed his half-brother the title of the Earl of Richmond, and was tasked with defending Lancastrian interests in Wales during the Wars of the Roses. Jasper, on the other hand, was made the Earl of Pembroke, suggesting that Jasper also had a good relationship with his half-brother the king. Henry also had Parliament begin the process of legitimising both Edmund and Jasper, although there's no mention of the other Tudor siblings getting legitimised. It was also through the king's influence that Edmund was matched and married to Lady Margaret Beaufort. In 1452, King Henry VI summoned his 9-year-old cousin, Lady Margaret Beaufort, to court, and the following year Edmund was granted Margaret's wardship. The Beauforts were descendants of John of Gaunt and his mistress Catherine Swynford, and they had been legitimised by King Richard II, following their parents' marriage. However, uncertainty lingered regarding their political standing. Nonetheless, Lady Margaret was a wealthy heiress, making her an attractive and profitable match. To secure Margaret's wealth, Edmund married her on the 1st of November 1455 at Bletsoe Castle. He was 24 or 25 and she was 12. Although it was not unusual for girls to be married at 12, in fact it was perfectly acceptable. What was not acceptable was to consummate the marriage until the girl, not woman, was around 16, sometimes 14. This to me really showcases Edmund's character, because he did not want to wait until Margaret turns the recommended age, an action that led to Margaret getting pregnant and having a very difficult pregnancy that had a lasting effect on her body. It has been suggested that Edmund Tudor was not Owen's son, and that he was actually the son of Edmund Beaufort, Duke of Somerset, as there are no Edmunds in either Owen's or Catherine's families. And we know what people were like for naming their children after other family members. But in all honesty, this is highly unlikely, and it could be that simple that Catherine and Owen just simply liked the name Edmund, or that they named him after the Duke of Somerset. However, things took a tragic turn for Edmund in the summer of 1456. He had been sent to Carmarthen in West Wales to defend the area for King Henry VI. Unfortunately, Edmund was captured by Yorkist forces led by William Herbert and Walter Devereux, and he was imprisoned at Carmarthen Castle, where, amid the unsanitary conditions and the spread of disease, Edmund contracted the plague. After only a few months in captivity, he succumbed to the illness on the 1st of November 1456, at the age of just 26. At the time, there were rumours that Edmund had either been poisoned or died from injuries sustained in battle. However, it is now widely accepted that he died from plague. Edmund's death came at a pivotal time for his family. His young wife, Lady Margaret Beaufort, was just 13 years old at the time and was pregnant with their only child, who would become the future King Henry VII. Margaret, though young, was a woman of immense determination and strength. She gave birth to Henry on the 28th of January 1457 at Pembroke Castle, just a few months after Edmund's death. This child, born into the turmoil of civil war, would one day end the Wars of the Roses and establish the powerful Tudor dynasty. But at the time of Edmund's death, the future of the Tudors was far from certain. Edmund's untimely death had left Margaret a widow and Henry without a father, but Margaret's devotion to her son and her political acumen would prove crucial in Henry's eventual rise to power. For the time being, though, Edmund's death meant that young Henry would be raised in precarious political circumstances. Margaret sought protection and used her noble connections to ensure her son's safety, knowing that one day he might have a claim to the throne. After Edmund's death, he was initially buried at the Greyfriars monastery in Carmarthen, but his story doesn't quite end there. During the reign of his grandson, King Henry VIII, the English Reformation brought about the dissolution of many monasteries, including Greyfriars. As a result of the dissolution of the monasteries, King Henry VIII had the remains of his grandfather, Edmund Tudor, reinterred at St Davids Cathedral in Pembrokeshire. The death of Edmund Tudor is one of those moments in history that seems small at first, but has enormous consequences. His passing set off a chain of events that led to the rise of the Tudors, and his son, Henry VII, would go on to defeat Richard III at the Battle of Bosworth in 1485, ending the Wars of the Roses and securing the throne. Without Edmund's legacy, the Tudor dynasty, which gave us monarchs like Henry VIII and Elizabeth I, might never have come to be. And that's where I'm going to leave today's video, a short but sweet video that focused on the very beginning of the Tudor dynasty, and a reminder of how fragile life and power could be, especially during the turbulent 15th century. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you never miss a video. But until the next one, guys, have a wonderful day.